So guys, as you know, Fish just dropped the most filler update to date. So in today's video, instead of checking that out, we're gonna be ranking all the rods in Fish, including the new one, which isn't really that good. But uh, shout out to the people who bought my merch. You guys can buy my merch, link in the description, and you'll always get a shout out in every video that I'm gonna be making. So with that out of the way, let's start ranking all the rods. Okay, so let's start the rating. So our first rod is gonna be the rapid rod, D tier. You don't even need this anymore. Other rods do its job better. You don't need this rod to get on the most caught fish leaderboard, because if you just put instant catchers or use the hasty enchant on some of these, it becomes a instant catch. So let's go. Next rod, we're gonna have fast rod, same reason, and I think, is this the worst version? Oh yeah, this is the worst version in the rapid rod. So yeah. Okay, so in our next rod, we have a personal favorite of mine. It can be the Mythic rod. This used to be meta. I caught a lot of good fish with it. I got a colossal mythic. Colossal squid. That's mythic, yeah. So we're gonna move this over here to A tier. It's still pretty good, especially if you don't have all the rods in the game. This could be one of your... You could go from this to Trident rod to the depth rod. So let's go. So our next one is going to be the plastic rod. It's not as bad as these two because you could still use this in the very beginner. This might be the first rod you guys buy. It may help, but like some of the codes in the game just allow you to go straight to the steady rod, but still, this is still a pretty decent rod, so I'll put it in C tier. Now over here we have the haunted rod. Haunted rod, debatably, I kind of think it's the best mid-game rod. If you just put like resilience on it, it could be really good. So we're gonna be putting this over here in B tier. It's a good mid-game rod. Okay, so now we have the reinforced rod, so let's add a new category. Actually no, I'll put it here in the D tier. So basically you can only catch you can only fish in the brine pool with this. Same with the Magmar rod. I'm gonna be putting it there for the exact same reason. So over here we have the Screwy rod. I haven't really tried it, but it's just like a normal rod. It doesn't really provide you any boost, and it's pretty expensive for the price. You don't really need this in mid game. You could just use steady rod with destiny or something, if that's what the lucky enchant is called. Sorry, I just don't memorize that. But it's not as bad as these other rods, so we're gonna be putting this probably B tier, but not as good as this. Okay, so next rod, the destiny rod themselves, the best for completing the bestiary. It's not the best money maker. I don't know why you would get this unless you just want to complete the bestiary. So I'll put it in A tier just because of the luck. And if you got a right enchant on it, it could catch any fish you want, but it's not very good for money. Now next rod, we have the fortune rod. It's not that bad. The steady rod still is kind of better, so I'm gonna put this in C tier. Over here we have luck rod. Don't really need this. You should never buy this. Just go steady rod. Okay, king's rod. King's rod used to be kind of useful, but now it's like kind of useless because there's so much rods that do its job better. Like there's so much rods. This used to be so good, but if you just slap a resilience enchant on the mythic rod, it already does its job better. Like you don't need that big of a bar, honestly, unless you have like no skill. So A tier, not need this. Trident rod, that's an automatic S tier for me. Trident rod is gonna carry you so hard in late game to get this rod, which is the best rod in the game, not including the no life rod, because we all know this one. No one's gonna get this. But over here, this is pretty good. It helps you catch big fish because of the passive it has, and you get Atlantean, which is basically a 3 times multiplier on all fish you catch, so it's pretty good. Very good. Rod of the Depths with Abyssal enchant. It's the best rod in the game. And if you can combine it with fast catchers, it becomes broken. You're able to make 100k in 30 minutes probably with this rod. If you're like decently lucky. Decently. You don't have to be extremely lucky with this one. And it has a lot of good enchants to go with. You can put Wormhole on it. You could put Hasty on it, but Abyssal still good. It's kind of fun to use with a Wormhole, honestly. Just for fun, like if you're bored. Now, Steady Rod, you know, the goated mid-game rod. Everyone likes this rod. Everyone goes for this rod during mid-game. So, I'll put this either. It could be an A tier, but like if you put the luck enchant on this rod, it's better than the Steady Rod. So, here we have Magnet Rod. You don't really need this. It's good for catching bait, but if you just use any of the money making rods and buy bait yourself, it really destroys the purpose of this rod. And now we have the Midas rod. Another useless rod. You don't need this. It's a waste of money. It'll just bring your progress all the way down to 0. It's not really useful for anything. If you want to have all the rods in the game, sure, get this rod, but I've never seen a single person use this rod. So, and it's kind of expensive. Don't really need this. But it's still better than all these rods, so just because it's better, they tier. And I'm not even gonna talk about this one. No life rod, best rod in the game so far, but it's kind of hard to get. Like you have to get level 500, but once you get this, it's pretty much GG's. You could catch any fish in the game. You make a lot of money, and it has the Trident rods passive, the slashes just on the fish. Now, let's see what we have here. We have the Flimsy rod, beginner rod. That's all I'm gonna say. Now we have the carbon rod. Carbon rod, like instead of buying the plastic rod, the first rod I actually bought was the carbon rod. It did help me get to the. I skipped all the way to Nocturnal. I skipped all the way to the Nocturnal rod. I don't know why it's not here in the tier list, but I skipped all the way to Nocturnal with the carbon rod. But I should have really just gotten the steady rod. It would have been a lot easier. I could have farmed the Colossals way before back. But anyways, I'm gonna put the carbon rod over here in probably yeah, C tier. So yeah, this is my complete tier list fish. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye.